Hey friends, Alexandra Eidenberg here with the insurance people. I'm really excited to take a moment to dive into talking to you all about some of our favorite policies. Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite Blue Cross Blue Shield policies. And many of you are insured in the small group market, and we are going to show you our 5 favorite plans. Before I dive into those plans, I just wanted everyone to have a quick moment to see the amazing staff at the insurance people. Many of you have had the opportunity to work with Sarah, who's also a licensed agent. And then you have Erica, Melissa, Allie, Sharita, Carrie, and Hannah. We're an all-gal team, and I'm just so excited that we get to be here for all of you. So friends, let's talk about our favorite plans. So many of you are on Blue Cross Blue Shield small group, and in that particular situation, you likely have a similar series of these plans. In every situation, depending on the group that you're insured with, your group is going to offer certain policies. With Blue Cross Blue Shield small group, many of the groups are offering 5 to 6 plans, and in this case, these are the 5 most common plans that our groups have. So let's talk about these awesome plans. First of all, here on the right is an HMO. This particular HMO is only for people living in Illinois. When you're on an HMO, you pick one doctor, and that one doctor refers you to all of your other doctors. There's opportunities to get doctors at Amita, North Shore, Dooley, Advocate, a lot of great doctors to select from. When you're on an HMO, not only does it give you cost control in your monthly cost, like you can see here in our example, Sue, Phil, and Amy, you're going to see some of your lowest cost plans on an HMO. But the other great thing about being on an HMO is when you go use your insurance, basically everything you do is a copay. Going to the doctor, going to urgent care, a specialist, the pharmacy, surgery, copay, a lot of cost control. It is very rare to use your deductible on an HMO. And in this particular case, an example of using the deductible would be for things like durable medical equipment. If you're diabetic and you're getting equipment, if you need a sleep PAP machine, those are some examples of where you would use the deductible in this style plan. Now, opposite to the HMO, we have this platinum plan here, this P503 PPO. This is the Cadillac of all Cadillac policies. Again, the older you are, the higher price plan it is. And so here you can see between 35, 40, and 45, the price goes up as you go from there. This plan is amazing. If you are a heavy user of insurance, if you know you're going to have a surgery, if you're currently pregnant, if you know you're diabetic, whatever you have going on, if you are a user of insurance, this plan is absolutely delicious. So you have a $250 deductible, 80% coinsurance, max out of pocket of $1,500. You get all these great copays for doctors, specialists, medication. No matter what, the max out of pocket's $1,500. So you can fall down the stairs, become a cancerous diabetic, annihilate the insurance, and no matter what, after you spend $1,500 in network, you have 100% coverage. So those are 2 plans you're going to see a lot in our summaries. You'll either have an HMO or you're going to have this particular platinum PPO. Now, the reason that I want to take a moment to talk about things are more so for the options network, the 2-tier plans. And so often people have a lot of confusion about these. So I'm going to take a moment to talk about the S506, the G508, and the G5K1. I'm going to focus my eyes and my attention on this G508 here in the middle, this gold option. This is one of the most popular plans. As you can see here, for Sue, this plan is $506. For Phil, $529. For Amy, it's $597. This plan is so popular because it's really going to give you your best value. Now, where value is in insurance is where does your monthly cost meet the plan components, and where is that juncture best found? And this particular policy really hits those markers. Now, when you look at this policy, you're seeing way more numbers than usual, and that typically creates a little bit of confusion. So let's talk about how it works. What you see here is $1,500, $3,750, and $7,500. There's 3 buckets. It's 3 tiers instead of the 2 tiers like you see with the P503. So in these 3 tiers, $1,500 is your choice PPO deductible. $3,750 is your PPO deductible, and $7,500 is your out-of-network deductible. In any situation, you really want to try to never go out of network, but this plan is your big, broad national network. What Blue Cross Blue Shield is doing here is they're taking their in-network and they're splitting it into two. You can either see choice providers for a lower deductible and copays, PPO providers for a higher deductible and copays, but again, both completely in network, or you can choose to go out of network, which we never recommend going out of network. The goal is always to stay in network. Now, on these two policies, the S506 and the G508, in any given situation, you are going to have access to copays on the front end. You can go to the doctor, you can go to the specialist, urgent care, medication. All of that is going to be a copay on both of these plans. You do not need to pay the deductible first. So you can see your therapist, you can go to your GP, you can go to your gyno, you can go to your dermatologist, and all of those are going to be copay driven type needs. Now, if you end up in a situation where you need the deductible, you're doing a procedure, you're doing a surgery, maybe you need an MRI or you're having knee surgery, that's where these deductibles are going to come into play. And in that scenario, it can make sense to try to use the choice network, hospitals like Northwestern or Amita or Advocate or Dooley, versus using the middle tier, which is going to be North Shore, U of C, Rush, other places as well. And so in this scenario, that same $10,000 knee surgery is going to have a $1,500 deductible in the choice network, but a $3,750 in the PPO network. After you spend the deductible, then you go into coinsurance. Let's do a working example. Let's say you have that 10 grand surgery at Northwestern. First, you're going to pay $1,500, then it's going to go into coinsurance. You have your $10,000. First, you pay $1,500, you have a remainder of $8,500. Of that $8,500, Blue Cross pays 90% and you pay 10%. Your 10% is $850. Your $1,500 and your $850 is eating away at this $5,850. After you spend $5,850, you have 100% coverage after that. Now, let's say you did your surgery at Northwestern, but then you decided to do some physical therapy at North Shore, or maybe you did that at Rush. That means there's a delta, a difference of $2 grand between these. The $5,850 is inside the $7,850. So no one person on this plan can spend over $7,850. It's what's called embedded. Same thing with the deductible. The $1,500 is inside the $3,750. So if you use up all the PPO, there's no more paid in choice. If you use the choice, you only have a little bit more go to get to the PPO. Both the S506 and the G508 are going to function just the same. The S506 is going to have higher deductibles and higher copays. If you're Sue, you really need to make a decision if you want to save 65-ish per month, 70-ish per month to be on a policy that has way higher deductibles. Now, if you're enrolling as a family like mine, I have 4 kids. When I'm seeing price differences between the S506 Silver and the G508 Gold, and I can save myself $300-400 a month, and we're low users, that's where choosing a Silver plan can really make sense. That way you're keeping your fixed costs down and you're able to see that variable difference. And so for me, I prefer a lower fixed cost with a higher variable, meaning taking the Silver plan, but you might be different. Maybe you want a higher fixed cost so you can lower your variable. And that's where you would go on to the Gold plan, the G508. Now, again, all these plans, the 4 plans to the left, are all the same big, broad national network, same exact network. You're getting it on a 3-tier chassis if you're on the plans ending in OPT, and you're getting it on a 2-tier chassis if you're on the plain PPO. This G5K1 is an HSA. Some of you love a good HSA. You do get the tax benefits of that should you contribute into a bank account. If anyone needs an introduction for where to open up an HSA, we'd love to do that with you as well. This particular plan, you don't get copays. You have to pay the deductible for everything. Doctor's visits, specialist visits, medication, everything's a deductible transaction. That same surgery we talked about for 10 grand at Northwestern, you could pay $3 grand and be done and have 100% coverage for the rest of the year. We're always here to help, and you can reach us at 697-8082 or by emailing us at info@insuranceppl.com. I'll catch you soon, friends. Thanks so much for your time.